Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mama and the Bake Brigade. Hope everybody's having a good Friday night. I'm doing okay. Sorry that it's been a few days. Just been working on this top for myself, I guess. It's supposed to be my collaboration with Llama Mama Kayla, but I got on this kick with these cotton tops that I was making for my friend Alana and her daughters, and decided to. I had mine in the works. That was supposed to be a summer top that me and Kayla started, but Kayla decided because the yarn was kind of fluffy and a little warmish that she would make it for fall. Well, okay, that's good for her, but I wanted it mine now. But we made it with this Karen Blossom Cakes. The colorway that I chose was macaw, like the parrot macaw, and this is how it looks in the cake. Really beautiful, but it's a 4-weight yarn. It's chain spun, so but it does get a little fluffy, and sometimes if you make a mistake, it will stick to itself. Not every time, but sometimes it will. It has a tendency to do that, but not terribly. Not enough to put me off of it. Like there was that yarn, that Line Brand yarn, ice cream devocation yarn, or whatever it is. That yarn constantly stick to itself, and it's a roving yarn, and as beautiful as its projects turn out in that yarn, it really put me off of it. So I quickly got rid of the skeins I had of that yarn. But this has been a roller coaster doing this top, because we used a tutorial that Cinnamon Stitches put out for the Granny Square pullover that she did for Premiere Week earlier this year. And well, I made my neck too big, and then I had to frog a bunch of stuff and go back and fix it. And so I'm glad I did that, though. I'm glad I went ahead and fixed it, because I had my neck so big that it was resting on my shoulders, and it really made it really awkward looking, and it was terrible. And so I had to go back and Frankenstein it. Even though, unless you're really staring at it, and unless you're a really a detailed person, like a nitpicky crocheter, or I see, a perfectionist. That's the word I was looking for. A perfectionist crocheter, and it and if it was something that I was going to sell, I probably wouldn't have. I would have been more careful probably, but it was something for myself, and so I did go back and fix it. And if you're not staring at it, if you're not like right up on it and staring at it and looking for the mistake, then you probably can't find it. But of course, it's my garment, so I know that it's in there. But I'm not completely done with it. I still have to go around the bottom with a trim with a complementing color. Let's see. Now, the complementing color I decided to use around the collar and around the cuffs of the arm and around the bottom is this turquoise in Ever Soft by Premier. This is 100% acrylic, and it's got a sheen to it. And this is let me make sure of the color. I call it turquoise. It's called aqua, but as you can see, it's just regular turquoise yarn. It's gorgeous. Thank you, Cheryl. That's who sent that. My buddy Cheryl sent me that. And so I got around to using some of that to go with this, because I thought it was a really pretty complement to this yarn. And since this yarn is, see here, it is 61% cotton, 39% acrylic. So it's got acrylic in it. And I'm only putting only putting it around the neck and the sleeves, but I wanted something to pop, you know, some color pop, and so that's what I did. But I don't know if y'all can tell, but the neck was really wide, but I had to go, because those of you that hadn't done this particular pattern might not know, but you start with 2 big old granny squares, and then you take and you do so many rows of body. When you're my size, okay, us larger ladies need body shaping for this pattern calls for body shaping on the larger sizes of this particular sweater. And so on all 4 panels on each side, you had to do so many rows according to your size of body shaping. So on each square, on both the right and left side, you had to do so many rows of body shaping. So meaning you're just adding rows, like like on the red top that I did, where I added rows to the bottom, and then I left a little. I did it to the front, and then I did it to the back, leaving the little slit on the side, so that when she sits, it won't, you know, budge against her. It gives her that ease, you know. I didn't do it with this, but because this is big enough, I don't need it. Anyways, but it's similar. You know, it's used the similar technique I did to add the length to the bottom of that shirt, is to add the rows, the shaping rows to both sides of the squares here. So you add those rows to each square on each side, and then you do rows to the top for the shoulders. There's shoulder shaping too, and so you carve out how many ever rows you need for your neck, and then you do shoulder rows. You know how many? I think it's three rows on each side of each panel. So well, I didn't count. I counted too many rows. I guess I overestimated how wide my neck is, because I have body issues like anybody else. And so when I went to go try it on, it was so wide that it rested like right here where my straps are. It rested like right here. That's where the neck rested, and it made it look really weird, and it looked very awkward. And I was like, well, that's not cool. And so but when I put it on to test that, I had already put 2 rows of this color on the collar. So I had to go rip all that out, and then add more of the shoulder shaping on each side, and then attach it, and then seam that up, and then go back and do my complementing color. So you can imagine that was a headache, and not a mistake I plan on repeating. This will be this particular shirt will be the guide I use for any future big shirt that I make myself, because I made all my mistakes on this one. And now I know that I need at least 1,500 yards of yarn to make a shirt like this for myself. Now, if I was making a solid stitch shirt for myself, I would probably need 2,000 yards, because let's face it, I'm a big woman, and it just takes it. It just does. And so, but what I haven't done yet is on the bottom. I haven't done the I haven't completely finished it, because I got to go along the bottom with the complementing color and do it like a couple of half double rows down here. But I did 2 half double rows up here. Now I did go down half a millimeter in hook size for the neck, and I only did 1 row of half doubles up here, because to be honest, my shoulder and arm was really killing me by then. And but the neck Now the armholes, I did realize that I made them just a little bit too big too, but I'm okay with that because I'm gonna wear a tank top underneath it, so this doesn't matter for this one. But I'm learning. I think next time I will probably come up about 2 spaces and make this just a wee bit smaller next time. So, but like I said, this was the one I learned on. And yes, I did follow her tutorial. I did follow Cinnamon Stitch's tutorial as much as I could, because as much as I love Cinnamon Stitches, her tutorials aren't, she's more conversational in her tutorials than instructional. And I'm used to tutorials being, you know, step this, let's walk you through this step, and then them come back and say, okay, now this is the next step, and there not be all this conversation in between steps. And so it unfortunately, I don't, it got confusing to me because she was so conversational. Not to say is lots of people learn just fine that way, but I had trouble because of that. Because I'm when I'm trying to learn something from somebody, I'm a little bit all business about it. I'm just all about learning that thing from them. I watch a lot of her videos. I don't watch every one of her videos, but I do watch a lot of her videos, and I find her life very interesting. I admire her and I like her a lot. But when I get ready to learn about a tutorial, when I'm trying to do a tutorial from somebody, I'm all business trying to learn that stitch, trying to learn that pattern from them. And that's just not a time that I can focus on her conversation. I need to focus on what we're doing. And so it made it very difficult for me personally to learn what she was trying to teach me. So that's why I had to go and double check with Kayla. I was like, okay, Kayla, does she mean do the body shaping on all 4 panels? Both panels, on all 4, on both, to each side of, the squares. And she's like, yes. And I was like, oh, okay. Cause she never did completely make that clarification. And as far as I could tell, as far as I was able to tell, she never did come straight out and say, yes, on both squares, do body shaping on both sides of both squares. She never did say it that way. So because she didn't say it that way, I never understood what she meant. It was inferred, but it was never clearly stated. And so, and I even went and used the link and went to the pattern. It's never clearly said in the pattern either. I'm not a pattern reader. I don't read patterns. I watch tutorials. And I watch a lot of tutorials that are, this is this we're doing this step, this step, this step, and there's not the conversation in between. It's, this is what we're doing, and it's all business. I don't knock her for doing it the way she's doing it. I mean, many people love her tutorials, and everybody learns from her. Everybody learns differently. I just happen to be, a more regimented learner. When I decide to learn something, I need it to be a certain way. And it was just difficult. It was difficult to me to learn the way she teaches. But my brain works different than everybody else's, of course. I'm a little twisted, and I admit that. But so I struggled a bit with this, and that's why I'm glad that I had Kayla to call. I mean, I was really, if I hadn't been able to get a hold of Kayla, I probably would have just emailed Jennifer and said, hey, what did you mean here? And she probably would have been great. She's a fantastic person, and she probably would have just emailed me back and answered my question. I probably could have did that had I not been able to ask Kayla, and Kayla answered me. So, because Kayla's already done this sweater in the 4-weight acrylic, and she wears that sweater in the opening of her videos. So she has the granny square pullover already made with long sleeves and really beautifully. but we were just using that particular tutorial and pattern as a guide for making our summer tops. Well, she's calling hers a fall top because this yarn is not exactly light. It's not, I wouldn't call it exactly summery. But I don't plan on doing a lot of outside stuff in my crochet anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna pull I got a tank top on, so I'm gonna pull this on, and then I'll stand up and let y'all see what it looks like. And all this yammering, right? But I did put this over my head to kind of judge the arms. But then when I did the arms and everything, the arms are a little bigger than I really had estimated that they ought to be. But it fits fine. It's baggy like I would have liked. You know, I like my clothes baggy. But see how the neck looks really nice now? It was way back over here, so I had to pull it way in here because it was way over here. So it was bad. So yeah, let me see if I can pull this out, and then I'll stand up for y'all. Oh, let's see. Let me unplug this so that it doesn't mess up my cord. And then I'll move this out a little better. But it does fit. I'll have to get a picture. I'll have to get Johnny to take a picture for me. But let me move this out. I'll move this out a little bit. There we go. Okay, now it just comes. It's a bit. I hadn't done this bottom part yet, but as you can see, the arms are a bit bigger than I meant for them to be, but that's okay. And I didn't add no length to the sleeves because the body shaping that you do on the side gives you a sleeve. So I didn't need to add any sleeves because that was plenty of sleeve for me. So but this is plenty. You can see it's plenty big. I like things loose fitting, so this worked out just fine. As you can see, it worked out just fine, and it fits really comfortable. This is like a light purple tank top, but I'd really like one that was maybe this little peachy color, or maybe the gold color that's in the yarn. But let me put you back over here and I'll sit down. But the yarn worked up really nice. It's not terribly heavy. I mean, with the tank top, it's not gonna be bad as long as I'm in air conditioning. But like she said, this will be perfect for fall. And I think it turned out nice. I'm very happy with it now that I fixed the neck. I'm very happy with it now. So I'll have to get some pictures. Like I said, I'll try to get Johnny to take a picture of me and insert it somewhere in the end of the video or something. But I did want to come on and share that with y'all and wish y'all a happy Friday night. And that's about all I got for this video. Please remember that I love you and so does Jesus. And please adopt, don't shop. Your best friend could be waiting for you at the shelter or the rescue. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye now.